2012, which is the current vintage, and also I think one of our best, if not the best, since I've been in charge of the winery. I've been around here for 22 years now, and I do think it's my best vintage.
How is it possible to work in a vineyard as steep as Clos de Grasse?
We have to do things with small tools. Of course, no tractors can enter Clos de Grasse. So it has to be tended the same way it would have been tended 100 years ago or 150 years ago, with almost nothing mechanized. But it's possible to work there. People ask me a lot about global warming, but Clos de Grasse is about being warm. It's exposed fully to the south. It was always warmer than other parts of Champagne. The potential alcohol at the time of the harvest is 1.5% higher than anywhere else. The temperature in the vineyard, we've measured it, is also 1.5 to 2 degrees Celsius higher than the rest of the region. And in spite of that, it is elegant and it is mineral because of the soil. The soil is more important than the temperature. The microclimate is not just about temperature. It's also about rainfall, it's also about light, and it's mostly about the soil. Because the slope is so pronounced, there is a lot of erosion happening and there is very little topsoil on top of the chalk, which means that the vines have to dig directly into the chalk itself, sneaking its roots into the cracks in the chalk. And that's where the minerality comes from, and that's where the ageability and crispness and the sensation of freshness comes from. We never perform the malolactic fermentation on Clos de Grasse in order to retain some of the crisp malic acid and increase the sensation of acidity in the wine. Another thing that we do is ferment about half of the cuvée in young wooden casks, not new because they'd be too flavorsome, but young, which are slightly astringent, which are still tannic, so that they protect the wine from early oxidation, which would have increased the heaviness in the wine. In everything we do, we're always looking for two objectives. One of the objectives is intensity of fruit, intensity of flavors, but without oxidation. And the other element is freshness, crispness, a clear sensation of acidity in the wine, which I think is intrinsic to Champagne and should always be there. All our vintage wines at Philipponnat are extra brut, minimal dosage, which sits at the threshold of what one can detect when tasting. And its function is to help cover up the malic acid, which can be a little bit metallic. What we're aiming at is not filling the malic acid and not filling the sugar either, but keeping the overall balance of freshness. I have a motto here at Philipponnat in the way I work, which is to do one little thing better every day. With that state of mind, after 200 or 250 days in a year, you'll have made 200 or 250 details better. And that's how things really get better. Striving to always do the best, to always improve.